Good afternoon, students. Now, through this video clip, I am going to connect with you to teach you economics and the next chapter of economics, that is elasticity of demand. In the previous chapter, we have studied about theory of demand, right? How our demand will be affected. But in that chapter, we haven't understood that by how much percentage of price will rise or fall, and it will affect its demand by how much, that we are not going to understand. In that, we are going to understand only that concept as price increase, demand decrease, price decrease, demand increase. But how much change in price it affect the demand by how much, we haven't studied. For that, the economists, they have introduced one more concept, and that is to be considered as elasticity of demand. So first of all, we are going to understand the concept of elasticity of demand. Concept, it means percentage change. It means percentage change in demand for a commodity with respect to percentage change in any of the factor which affect demand for commodity. According to this concept, the percentage change in demand for commodity with respect to percentage change in any of the factor which affect the demand for commodity is to be considered as elasticity of demand. We can conclude elasticity, give the formula for elasticity of demand, that is percentage change in demand for commodity. Suppose we will take the commodity X with respect to percentage change in factor which affect the demand for good X. That is clear. Many factors are there that affect the elasticity of demand, but in your syllabus, that is only restricted price elasticity of demand. So now I'm going to make you understand the next concept, that is price elasticity of demand. Price elasticity of demand means percentage change in quantity demanded for a commodity with respect to percentage change in price of such commodity. Means percentage change in quantity demanded with respect to percentage change in price of such commodity, that is to be considered as price elasticity of demand. That is restricted to your syllabus, that you have to study with this concept. That is clear. In that, you have one method for finding this elasticity of demand, that by how much percentage. So method for measuring elasticity of demand. Method for measuring elasticity of demand. Price, because in your concept syllabus price elasticity of demand. So in that we are going to learn the method by which we are able to find our price elasticity of demand, that by how much percentage change in price it will affect by how much percentage in quantity demanded, that we are going to understand in this method. So there is one method. Earlier two methods are there, percentage method and geometric method, but now geometric method had deducted from your syllabus, and now it will be one method only, that is percentage method. Percentage method. In that I am going to make you understand, it is also known as flux method, or we can say proportionate method, or mathematical method. That is clear. So according to this method, the elasticity in demand that can be measured in the ratio of percentage change in quantity demanded in respect to percentage change in price, that is to be considered as percentage method. So with the help of formula we can denote ED is equal to percentage change in quantity demanded with respect to percentage change in price, with respect to percentage change in price are to be the formula for elasticity of demand. That is clear. Now the question is arising in your mind that in the question percentage change in quantity demanded and percentage change in price is given, or we have to find it. Yes, if it is given, then simply we can apply the value of both the things and we will get the answer. But if it is not given, then how it will get it? Firstly, percentage change in quantity demanded. I will tell you to how to find. Percentage change in quantity demanded, the formula for it, that is change in quantity demanded, that is denoted as delta Q upon change in upon initial quantity which the customer is demanding before change in price into 100, where we will get our percentage change in quantity demanded. Now this percentage change in quantity demanded, so we will find, but how initial quantity, you know it very well. Suppose for example at 10 rupees there is a 15 units demanded. So this 15 units is what? It's a initial quantity. Okay, we will get it. But how will get change in quantity? For that change in quantity I am denoting as delta Q, Q1 minus Q. Here Q is initial quantity and now the price has changed 8. Suppose the demand will be 18. So this is Q1 and this is Q. This initial, that is change in quantity. That quantity which will be demanded, that is to be considered as, and because of change in price, that is Q1. So suppose if 15 is Q, so 18 is Q1. While I am going to deduct this 15 from 18, what we will get? Change in quantity. Then I will put the value of change in quantity over here, that is 18 minus 15, 3. 3 upon initial quantity, that is 15 into 100. Then we will solve it, where I will get percentage change in quantity demanded. Now percentage change in price. Same method for finding percentage change in price. Okay, that is change in price delta P upon initial price, that is P into 100. Now same as it is, how we will get change in price if it is not given? Initial price though, that is suppose that is 10 on 15, so that is our initial price, and the price is going to be changed, that is our P1. So for finding our change in price, that is delta P, from P1 we will deduct P, we will get our change in price. Then we will put the value, that is suppose 8 minus 10 minus 2. Minus 2 upon initial price, that is 10 into 100, we will get percentage. And while we are putting the value on the formula of elasticity of demand, so the answer will be come in negative. Suppose this minus 2 upon 10 into 100, that is minus 20, and this, that is 3 upon 15, that is 20. So suppose 20 upon minus, that I have told you how much, 10. Yes, minus 2 change in price, that is 2. Am I clear? 20%, 20%. So what we will get? Minus 1. So whenever that, as you know, the demand will never be in negative, but because of our calculation it will cause, and negative sign should be ignored. So whenever we will find the whatever the value will come either in positive or negative, always we will, if it will come in negative, the negative sign should be ignored while calculating elasticity of demand. That is clear? One more alternative method is there for finding is proportionate method. Suppose when percentage is not given, so we have one more method, and it is not mentioned in the information in the question that from which method we will do. So we will do with another method also, percentage method, if depend on our wish. But if it is mentioned that by which method you have to do, so you have to do with that method only. That is clear? So one more method, alternative method, that I am going to tell you for finding that is, as you know, for finding that is percentage change in quantity upon initial quantity into 100, for finding what? Percentage change in quantity demanded. And for percentage change in price, that is delta P upon P into 100. As you know it very well, we'll cancel from this 100 to that 100. What will get? Delta Q upon delta P upon P. Now we will solve it. As you know, you have math until class 10, you know it very well how to solve it. Delta Q upon delta P into P upon Q into P upon Q. Delta Q, that is what? Nothing. That is change in quantity, delta P change in price, P initial price, and Q initial quantity. That is clear to everyone? Okay. Yes. Now the next topic, that is degree of elasticity of demand. Means which could have perfect elastic, which have higher, which have less, which have equal elasticity and demand. That I am going to tell you. First, that is perfectly elastic demand. This concept, when there is an infinite demand at a constant price, means at the same price the demand will be infinite, and the demand becomes zero with a slight change in price. That situation is to be considered as, means that type of good have perfectly elastic elasticity demand. It is to be, in that case, that elasticity of demand value is going to be considered as infinite. That is clear. Suppose I will make you understand with the help of schedule. That is price, quantity, 10, 10, 10, 100, 200 kg, 300 unit, number of units. Means you can see as a constant price, as demand will be infinite, that condition has to be considered as perfectly elastic demand. If I am plotting that graph of that price, I will take on the y-axis and output I will take on the x-axis. Suppose this is a price, and at the same price this quantity, then this, then this. Means there is a, with same price the quantity will be infinite. That curve will be made, that is horizontal straight line parallel to x-axis, horizontal straight line parallel to x-axis. Clear? Next, that is perfectly inelastic demand. Perfectly inelastic demand. In this situation, there is no change in demand with change in price. With change in price, there will be no change in the demand. That demand for commodity is to be considered as perfectly inelastic demand. That is clear. In that case, ED, the value of ED is equal to 0. The value of ED is equal to 0. I will take the example of it. Suppose price, quantity, 10, 20, 30, 100 unit, 100 units, 100 unit. Clear? So suppose if that situation is to be occur at the differ price, with the change in price the quantity will be constant. At that condition is to be considered as perfectly inelastic demand. The curve of that I have told you, price we will take on the y-axis and output we will take on the x-axis. This is a quantity, and suppose this is this P, P1, P2. At same price, every time the quantity is same. The curve will be drawn vertical straight line parallel to y-axis, that is considered as perfect elastic demand curve. Clear? These both the situation are imaginary situation. We cannot apply in the real life, because you know it very well. It cannot be possible. With change in price the demand will not affect, and even with the constant price the demand will be constant, that is, the demand will be infinite. That is not possible. Clear? So these both are to make you understand, but these are a imaginary situation. Now I am going to tell you next, that is third one, higher elastic demand. In this situation, when percentage change in quantity demanded, is more than the percentage change in price for the commodity, demand for such commodity, then this situation is to be considered as higher elasticity of demand. Means when quantity demanded is more than the percentage change in price, then its situation is considered as, that is your higher elasticity of demand. In this, elasticity of demand value is greater than 1. Okay. 1. ठीक है ना. Now I am plotting the diagram. Diagram and schedule. Price, quantity. Suppose 10 rupees 100 unit, 8 rupees 200 unit. Now you can say that the price will be reduced by 20% and it will affect the demand by 100%. That is clear? That is to be considered as what? It means the demand will be higher elastic. That is clear? And that the curve will be like this. Suppose at this price, this is a quantity. Price will reduce this much and the quantity will increase that much. So you can see the change in price, it will affect the demand by more. It will affect the demand by more. That is clear? Y-axis, price we will take. X-axis, output we will take. Clear? Okay. Next, that is less elasticity demand. Less elastic demand. Less elastic demand. When the percentage change in quantity demanded is less than the percentage change in price. Means the change in price, the percentage change in price is more than it will affect the demand with less. Quantity demanded changes percentage will be less as comparison to the percentage change in price. Then this situation is to be considered as less elasticity of demand, in that the value of ED is less than 1. Now I will make you understand with the schedule in graph. Price, quantity. Suppose at 10 rupees 100 units, clear, and at 20 rupees 120 units are to be 80 units are to be produced. Clear? Wait. At price, quantity, at 20 rupees 100 units are demanding, and at 10 rupees 120 units are demanding. So you will see that the effect of that the percentage change in price, that will approx 50% and the demand will be changed with only 20%. So that you can see that type of goods have less elasticity of demand. Now I will plot the graph. In this, the curve of this that can be seen, that is flatter. If I am talking about the curve of higher elastic, that is flatter curve. Now at this price, suppose this is the price, that much quantity is demanding. Here price have changed, but the quantity demanded is not changed with change in price. So here percentage change in price is more than the percentage change in quantity. In that, the curve will be drawn, that is, this curve is steeper. Higher elasticity in the curve, in that curve is flatter, and in this curve is, the shape of curve is steeper. Okay, na? That is clear? Okay. Now the last degree, that is your fifth one, unitary elasticity demand. Unitary elastic demand. Okay. Unitary elastic demand, and when the percentage change in quantity demanded is equal to the percentage change in price. Demand for such commodity is to be considered as unitary elastic demand. Means when the percentage change in price is equal to the percentage change in quantity. Clear? I will show you how. Price, quantity. Suppose at 20 rupees 100 units are demanded, at 10 rupees 150. So you can see 50% price will be reduced, 50% demand will be increased. In that situation, y x output price. At this price, the quantity will be this. Price is going to be reduced by 50%. Okay. Quantity is also increased by 50%. It will draw and the curve will be hyperbola. Hyperbola. That is clear. The curve of unitary elastic demand is in the shape of hyperbola. That is clear. Okay. Now the shape, that is, you can see rectangular hyperbola. That is clear. Now the last topic of the chapter, after that we have finished this chapter, that will finish this chapter, that is the factor which affect price elasticity of demand. Price elastic of demand. Okay, the first factor, that is nature of commodity. Commodities nature is also specify the elasticity of demand, which have, suppose a commodity, when a commodity is necessity like food grains, vegetable, medicine, etc. Its demand is generally inelastic because it is for human survival, it is for the survival of human beings, and its demand doesn't affect with change in price. When the commodity are comfort goods, comfort commodity like fan, cooler and all, its demand is generally elastic because consumer can postpone its consumption with change in price. That is clear. If I am talking about the product which are luxury, and goods commodity is luxury or luxuries items like AC, LED TV. In that type of goods, the demand are generally more elastic because as comparison to the comfort, because what is the difference? Because if its price is reducing, obviously its demand is going to increase in a high manner, more demand will be there, and if its price is going to be rise, it will reduce the demand. That is clear. Next, that is ability of substitute. Ability of substitute. Good. Demand for commodity with large number of substitute, which goods have large number of substitute, will be more elastic. Because suppose two goods, Coke and Pepsi, one good's price, it will affect the demand of other good. As there is a rise in price of Pepsi, it encourages the buyer to buy Coke and vice versa. That is clear. On the other hand, the goods which have few or no substitutes like wheat and salt have less elasticity. Clear. Next, that is income level. Income level also affect the elasticity of demand. If I am talking about the higher income group, there the elasticity of demand is less, as because the change in price, it will not affect their higher income level group demand. And if I am talking about poor people, those who are earning less, they are highly affected by increase or decrease in price of goods. So in poor people, the elasticity of demand is more as comparison to the higher income level group. Clear? Next, that is level of price. Yes, that also matter for affecting the elasticity of demand. If I am talking about costly goods like laptop, LG TV, AC, these goods have highly elasticity because if there will be a little bit change in their price, it will affect their demand at very large manner. That is clear. Now if I am talking about demand for inexpensive goods like needle, matchbox, these are having inelastic demand because their demand will not affected with change in price. Clear? Next, that is postponement of consumption. Postponement of consumption. Commodities like biscuit, soft drinks, these goods is not urgent. The demand is not urgent and have higher elastic because if there will be a change in price, their price is going to be increased. The people are going to reduce their demand regarding that products and they can postpone their consumption as the price increase. However, the commodities like with have urgent demand like life-saving drugs have inelastic because it will not affect by change in price. If I'm talking about the diabetes patient, his injection is necessary, either its price is going to be increased or decrease. It is an immediate requirement. Because of that type of good have inelastic demand. Clear? Last, that is habits. Habitual. Habits means commodity which have become a habitual for the consumer. Means he become habitual for that goods. It become necessity. Without it, he cannot survive. That type of good have less elastic demand because that type of commodity he become habitual of it. Without it, he cannot survive. He continue to purchase even its prices rise or decrease. For example, alcohol, people who is habitual of alcohol, tobacco, cigarettes, either its price increasing, that you can see nowadays when as the wine shop have opened by the government instruction, you can see even it is available at high prices, the people are making standing in a queue for a long period of time for purchasing it because they are habitual of it. Clear? The chapter have finished.